Name is Eleanor Whittlemeow. I'm 71 years old, and 3 months ago I stood at the edge of a death that came not from illness, nor accident, but from a porcelain cup filled with poisoned kindness. It wasn't the poison itself that cut deepest. It was the silence of the man standing beside her. The one I once nursed through sleepless nights. The one whose first word was Mama, my only son, Reese. And he watched, quiet, cold, waiting for me to die. People say blood is thicker than water, but what they don't say is that sometimes blood congeals and love spoils. This is not just a story about inheritance or betrayal. This is about survival, not the screaming, cinematic kind, but the kind that's quiet, calculated, and born from the instinct to not disappear, when those closest to you have already started writing your obituary. It began on an ordinary Thursday morning, with the sound of tires crunching gravel and a knock at my door I'll never forget. I live in a stone manor, nestled deep in the pine forests of northern Maine. Hawthorne Hill, we called it. My late husband Martin and I made it our home after building a life from scratch, starting with a 2-room apartment and ending with a publishing empire that outlived him. He passed 7 years ago. Since then, Hawthorne Hill has been a palace haunted by memory. 13 rooms, a ballroom with gold leaf trim, and marble stairs that echo every step. But there is no grandeur in emptiness. For nearly 3 decades, I served as a criminal judge. My world was truth and testimony. I knew when someone was lying before they opened their mouth. The voice, the eyes, the space between words. Betrayal always leaves fingerprints. But I never thought I'd be forced to use those instincts on my own family. I should have known. Money doesn't just change people. It amplifies them. It reveals what they were pretending not to be. That Thursday morning, I was in my sunroom, reviewing a letter from our family's charitable trust when I heard Reese's old Jaguar glide into the drive. That sound once filled me with joy. Now it made the air feel heavier. He didn't knock, just walked in like he still lived there. "Mom," he said, his voice clipped, "we need to talk." He sat down without waiting for an invitation. His hair was messier than usual, shirt rumpled under a sport coat that looked expensive but tired. His eyes didn't meet mine. "I need a loan. 200,000. No pretense, no charm. Just hunger dressed as desperation." I raised an eyebrow. "For what?" "A startup. A consultancy. Strategic branding. Tech accelerators. I've got a partner. We're launching next quarter." It sounded rehearsed. Too smooth. Too vague. "What's your partner's name?" He blinked. "You don't know him." I didn't ask if I knew him. I asked who he is. A pause. "Jonas Carrick, from Portland." That was the crack. He hesitated. Reese never hesitated. I'd spent 30 years watching liars try to dance their way through depositions. This wasn't a pitch. It was a lifeline he was tossing into dark water, hoping I wouldn't see the weight tied to the end. I said no. 2 days later, he came back, with her. Lena, his wife of 18 months, or as she introduced herself, just Lena, no last name needed. She looked like something from a high-end lifestyle magazine. Blonde bob, flawless nails, and a wardrobe that screamed elegance and quiet danger. "We brought coffee," she said, breezing into my kitchen like a well-trained storm. "Special blend from Guatemala. With a whisper of saffron. I thought you'd appreciate something unique." She handed me a white ceramic cup. The aroma hit me before the heat did, and something in my chest recoiled. It was too sweet, too floral, but under that, a note of almond, faint, sterile, sharp. I looked at Lena. She was watching me too carefully. Not warm, not curious. Hungry. Reese hovered in the doorway, silent, avoiding my eyes. His charm gone. In its place, something colder. Shame or calculation? In that instant, every courtroom instinct roared to life. While she turned to answer something, Reese mumbled. I switched our cups, identical. It took 2 seconds, maybe less. When she turned back, I smiled and raised the new cup. "This is exquisite," I said. "You'll have to show me the place." She sipped. 15 minutes later, she started coughing. Gently at first, then harder. Her face tightened. Her breath shortened. She clutched her side, stumbled against the counter. Reese moved to her side too quickly, too practiced. The panic in his voice didn't reach his eyes. She was taken to the emergency room. The attending physician, Dr. Naila Sharma, met me in the hallway. "She's been poisoned," she said, eyes narrowed. "Traces of potassium cyanide. Not accidental. Not environmental. This was deliberate." Then she asked the question. "Did you both drink from the same coffee?" "The same pot. Same cups," I answered smoothly, leaving out the critical detail. Minutes later, I heard Lena's voice ring out from behind the curtain. "She gave it to me," she cried. "Eleanor tried to kill me." The shift in the room was instant. Where once I was a concerned relative, now I was a suspect. Reese stood next to her, his voice trembling just enough. "She's been different lately," he said. "Paranoid. She thinks we're after her money. She's obsessed with the trust. She's changed her will." His words were like little needles, just sharp enough to puncture belief. Detective Marla Boone arrived an hour later. Tough, smart, no nonsense. The kind of woman I would have respected in another life. "We're not arresting you," she said. "But we need to ask questions. And we need access to your home." I knew the drill. They found a vial in a drawer in the guest bath and a folded note with Lena's name and dosage instructions. They said the handwriting was mine. It wasn't. But it didn't matter how many times I said it, because Reese had already rewritten me. That night, I called the only person who might still believe in me. Margot Keene, retired federal prosecutor, old colleague and friend from before my name was something worth stealing. She didn't waste time. "You're being framed," she said, "and they're doing it well." She brought in her protege, a defense attorney named Kieran Holt. Stoic, sharp, razor-eyed. "They want your legacy," he said. "But they can't get it unless they discredit you. They don't need to kill you. Just make the world stop believing in you." We started digging. What we found was a rot deeper than I'd imagined. Reese was drowning in debt. Illegal gambling, shell companies, private loans with interest rates that might as well have come with threats in red ink. And Lena, her real name was Ava Monroe. 3 states, 4 aliases. 2 sealed cases involving wealthy widowers and revised wills. In Vermont, a man died of accidental overdose 2 weeks after adding her to his trust. In Montana, she disappeared the day before a warrant was issued. She was a con artist, a predator, and she'd found her final mark in me. But they made one mistake. They left me alive. So I turned to what I knew best, strategy. We crafted a lie to catch the truth. We leaked word that I had evidence. A letter, a recording, something incriminating, something real. Then we waited. 2 nights later, they came. It was just after 3 a.m. when I heard the floor creak. The security team hidden in the woods gave the signal. Reese and Ava crept through the study, searching, whispering. Then they came for me. "Where's the recording?" Reese asked. He sounded tired, hollow. "I lied," I said. Ava raised a needle. "Then we have no choice." Flashlights, commands, screams. The agents moved fast. Ava lunged at me before they tackled her. Reese dropped, silent, defeated. The trial ended them. Ava Monroe was sentenced to life. The poison, the aliases, the past. Reese, my son, pled guilty. 25 years. I didn't speak to him. Not at the trial. Not when they led him away. He turned, waiting for something. I gave him nothing. They offered me a dozen book deals, talk shows, podcasts. They called it The Heiress Who Lived. I turned them all down. Some stories are not entertainment. Some pain doesn't belong on a screen. I renamed the family trust, the Whitlow Light Fund. It gives scholarships to children of incarcerated mothers and grants to legal clinics helping the elderly. Reese will get nothing, but he'll leave a legacy, just not the one he wanted. And me? I'm still here. I drink tea now. From glass, I plant sunflowers in the garden every spring. I sleep with the windows open. I do not forgive, but I am not bitter. Survival isn't loud. It isn't cinematic. It's in the stillness of knowing you're still here, when everyone else thought you wouldn't be. And if you're reading this, believe your instincts. Guard your peace, and never apologize for fighting to stay alive. Because sometimes the quietest revenge is simply, if you learned any lessons from this story, please tell us in the comments and subscribe for more stories like this. Thank you. Thanks for watching.